pop in today who was like, Ma'am, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you still sleeping? Told me I don't want to go to bed until 2 or 3 in the morning, and there's zero reason for me to stay up that late. I'm not very happy with it. So I let her sleep longer. And then I brought some people with me. She's like, I haven't been for in so long. Oh my gosh. I don't know this chick. What is this chick? They're all Red Bull athletes. High endurance. There's some, coattail assholes here that, jump on because they supported other shit that I wasn't really a part of. Took on my persona and, ran away with it. I'm not really sure why these are going on. No. Because we're here to do the Bikram series. Random weird corner building and all this weird shit. We're not doing that. We're doing what the day is. This is the basics. High endurance, hot yoga, the first to really take over and make the industry was Bikram. Bikram has an ego the size of a room. Women fell at his feet doing that. If you ask a man who has women falling all over the place, especially if they're older, what the hell happens to their psyche when they're doing that, they will tell you, I don't know what happened. And it's sort of true, but sort of not true. Because it's like, yo, you're supposed to be the one that is in control. And that's why it is problematic. Because even the yoga instructor that premiered hot yoga that shows up will say, I made mistakes. I'm grateful that I can go to other countries. In America, they have a legal system that once you get in there, trying to prove otherwise is a real pain in the ass. It was also advantageous to the United States government to remove Bikram from the United States. I'm really happy that it still exists there in the 26 Hot series, as well as there are numerous hot yoga studios that have popped up all over the United States and continue to. It's a form of athletics that there is nothing else like it. You can try to do aerobics, calisthenics, weightlifting, all those things in a hot room. It is not like hot yoga. Hot yoga, what's really specific about it is the fact that yoga has existed for thousands of years. And the fact that it has already touched matter, been ingrained in brains, been the athletics of choice for millions of people. You add heat training to that, the new set of weapons that the United States built, pretty difficult to use them. They're subsonics, they're invisible, they're light waves, they are different, basically science fiction tools that are now a reality. And yoga, as I said, has been around longer than the commercial use of these. Yoga, some yogis even knew about some of these waves and particles in different formats. For some reason, in order to be scientifically verifiable these days, you have to see it through an AI model in a computer. But that same particle, that same exotic particle that they're slamming other particles together over there at CERN to get, it's always existed. They just want predictability on it, and there is no predictability on it. With the exception of a little equation I put together with the help of some exotic particles. This clairvoyance and clairsentient skill that is mine, that I manage, that I use, that runs on several different emotions, is able to talk to the dead, the living, and the future. So when you have Albert Einstein in your ear explaining what E equals mc squared, and his first wife, who is considered an illegitimate wife, and the mother of his child, who basically pioneered the concept E equals mc squared. My equation, it involves energy and intelligence. Intelligence, I should redefine as the notion that matter can understand other matter. I am built of matter. So is the stainless steel cup on the shelf. The stainless steel cup, I'm still proving, can recognize that I am not a stainless steel cup. But I can recognize for sure that I am not a stainless steel cup. And that is the concept of I think, therefore I am. There is nothing to prove that cup cannot think. That's intelligence. Energy is a little different, but still is an arrangement of matter. The cup on the shelf, static. However, the force that it takes to hold those stainless steel molecules together, that's energy. You put both of them together, energy and intelligence. That's when you can get into trace matter and exotic particles. I say that there's two equations. E equals mq ct. Energy equals matter cubed, so matter as it is, and trace matter, i.e. the leftover or the other side of the chemical equation, times the constant of change. Even when you see the exotic particles on the CERN model, they're changing, they're aging, they're decaying. Like fine wine. No, here I did that one. Let's step forward. Airplane. Wow. Favorite challenge in life right now. I might never win Ironman. I might never get a gold medal for snowboarding. But there is one thing that really bothered me about history books. They always said that artists got really famous after they died. I was like, that's stupid. Art's good. You know, it should be that they just say, well, they're still alive. And the really amazing part about this field that I discovered, and the clairstatus that it affords a human being, is you can ask the artist, ask Manet. Ask Monet. Did you guys know each other? Did it bother you that you guys had last names that were like that? Well, I have a first name that's sort of like holds your last name, and it bothers me because certain people say it this way, and other people say it the other way, and I'm like, my mom really likes Monet, and I think that the social commentary that Manet did was extremely important. Personally, I'm more of a Botticelli fan in terms of visual aesthetics. And then everybody says, oh, she's a dreamer. And I say, yes, because it's part of a different field. And you can actually find the answers to waking life in dreams much faster. Unless you want to do cold plunge training and a shitload of heat training, chances are you're not going to think of, a hyperbeam microwave that is at a certain frequency and know the exact frequency that you need in order to hit a person in a specific area of their body. I mean, I think it took DARPA some time before they can measure theta waves on your phone. Because they can, they do. And heaven forbid, you've got a strong brain, they might come at you. Because what people at DARPA don't realize is that they regulate your heads, your brains, your nervous system, via the building that you are in. Me, I'm like, I have metal walls. I know that there's signals bouncing everywhere, and that's just part of my life. The last time that I had, you know, plaster walls or drywall, whoo, the things that happen there. You guys want to see how text messages are sent secretly? Show you right here. I'll take a shower. Do you think that they'll teach that in high school biology in the future? Baseline electrolyte levels for a human being. Right and forward. Press left knee, right and forward. Roll that up. My favorite part about the DARPA comment is being able to manipulate their communication, Doppler radar, geometric radar, all these things, and never got to read just with my body. Hello, I have stench on the right side today. Bend the knee if you have to, left hip forward. Back up. Getting a question here, when's my favorite time to do yoga? I like to do it first thing in the morning. I used to get up and drive up the west shore of Lake Tahoe and go to the studio, Mountain Lotus, and I loved it. Get there, I've done yoga at 6 a.m. there, I've done yoga at 9. I like doing that. And the other time of day that I really like doing it is in the fall or in the winter, right at dusk, kind of going in the studio and having the sunset in the studio and not really noticing, and going outside when it's dark. And I like to jump in Lake Tahoe afterwards. That's kind of my favorite time. The other thing I like to do with yoga is I like to pass time with it. So if there's something I'm waiting for, when I travel, I'll go to laundromats to do laundry, and when I'm standing there, I have a laundromat next door that the family started. That one's 20 years old. We've had another one that was 20-something years old and we demolished it, built a new one. I like to do laundry, and while I'm doing that, stand there and do yoga. Last night I made a batch of cookies. They had a 20-minute timer on it. I just stood there and did yoga, and it passes the time incredibly quickly, and your body feels alive in a different way afterwards. And then you're like, I got another activity to do. On to the next. So I like doing that. Oh, you wanted to see how the text messages are sent? Okay. Yeah. Because you can't even see the pulses of light. The light fixture above me is pulsing. Like, that's a good question for the neurologist. Men's brains. Is it that they're not using the capacity that they need in order to, move their thoughts away from that subject, or is it that it's been trained and verbalized in society that is problematic? It's kind of the fun part. If there's an activity involved, most of the time, men are so preoccupied with that certain part of their brain. There's so much stuff firing there that they act like total retards, and it's the biggest turn off to women ever. No, one of my friends he's an attractive man, and I'll never forget, we were going to do something that is literally you turn on a valve, you fill up a bucket, and you're done. And he was struggling with that, where I looked at him and I was like, I am in a uniform, dude. It's not even cute. And it shouldn't be embarrassing. It should just say something about society and the way that brain training was going at the time. And it should also say something about the reality of where men, that stay hard, no offense, nope, use it. And that, those guys are trained to go to a certain place. They don't send in hot girls. in that place. They put them in these giant bags that only show their eyes. And I think that's an interesting one too. The use of burqas in war zones, where it's not like there's a bunch of beautiful women there that distract me from the bullshit in front of you, because I refuse to call it that. The really cool thing I love about yoga is that there's new poses that people come up with all the time, and they're based on old poses and realigning neural pathways and exterior matter with a new concept, and it works very quickly. Stay in that pose for a long time. entry breath this morning. You want to know what that looks like? Interlace your fingers, and I usually switch midway through the arrangement so you get strength on both sides. Bring your elbows to touch, your fingers right below your chin. You use a restricted breathing through your nose, and it kind of makes a kind of noise. So you bring your elbows up to the sky as tight as you can. The closer you can get your forearms to your ears, the better. And then you throw your head back. Okay, you open your mouth wide. Come back. You do that 10 to 12 times. End practice here. Dragon breath, skull polishing. Try to bring your feet in alignment as much as you can. So you can sit on your knees or on a lotus. Put your hands on your knees. A simultaneous inhale and exhale, and you make the sound shh, and your stomach pulls it. So I'll try to exaggerate it a little bit here. You're going to do that 30 times, and then you're going to double time it. It's going to go begin. Double time. And the idea is to hold everything firm below the diaphragm, but still use your entire, breath capacity, and that usually includes the stomach. format for me where I wanted to continuously lecture rather than give the cues of what yoga pose I'm doing. I added them later with text-to-speech. And I'm doing that to show that that format of training can allow your brain to do two things at once in terms of multitasking. And I haven't been as diligent with my practice as I would normally be. I have some lifestyle circumstances that haven't afforded me the easiest situations, but I refuse to give up on a practice that changed my entire life. And I know that it realigns matter around me in a positive and challenging way. And I wanted to comment, I really enjoyed talking about physics today and giving you some idea of how that works in a active format where you're learning two things at one time. My name is Monaya. That is the Bikram series. It is a challenge to myself to go back and look through the video and see if I missed a pose. We're all learning. And what I've learned about the equation that I explained early in the video is that if I missed a pose, chances are it will show up later in my life today. And that I will have a chance to take that pose and to really make it shine. Chances are I did not miss a pose in the 26 hot series or the Bikram series, whatever you're comfortable calling it. And that even taking a moment to explain myself in meditation, because my body is solidly somewhere else. The matter, the bioluminescence, the electricity that's coming off of it, that is moving and going somewhere off the mat here. So that even is the pose that I missed to explain. I have gratitude for the nuance that is. There is always more to learn. My name is Monaya. This is Atomic Alignment Basics, Hot 26 or Bikram series. Thanks for practicing.